Hello, my name is Andy from Terrytown, and welcome to your Jayco Whitehawk 33 RLBS. Just gonna be starting right up front here. The main thing with this is just gonna be your up and down, your power tongue jack there. Just in case it does electrically go out, you can peel this little black tab up, insert a tool as a manual override, and you can go ahead and crank this up or down. Otherwise, moving to your propane tanks right here. So that's it's on red, obviously, but as soon as propane starts going through there, that's going to be clear. Otherwise, you just take this little regulator and flip it to whatever propane tank you do want to use, and then just go ahead and open it up. Have your battery up front right there, and then right here is just going to be your front cap lights. So flick those on and off. It's kind of a hard press. There we go. Otherwise, moving on, you have your front pass-through storage there. Here's that manual override crank, and that is also going to be the same crank for your stabilizer jacks. Otherwise, moving along, here is a 50 to 30 amp adapter, and you also have a 30 to 110, just in case you do need to plug it into your house at any point. You have a 25-foot drinking hose. And then you also have a sewer hose right here. I do recommend getting a upgraded one, but this is just the one that we gave you. And then right over here is going to be your hitch. Your salesperson is going to go over that with you, so I'm not going to at this point. And then of course you have your table right here, which you just pop open with this and pull out. Moving on, this is going to be your city water connection. So when you get to a campground, this is what you're going to want to plug that main water line into. Just below is going to be your outside shower. So it's just going to contain a hot, cold side of the faucet, and then you are going to have a your shower head and hose all inside here. Moving along to your sewer connection here, you're going to have a black tank on the left, and then gray tanks on your right. So whichever one you pull, doesn't matter if it's this one, both grays, and like I mentioned before, black. So what I recommend doing is the black tank, because that is going to be your toilet. So you just go ahead and pull that open. It's all going to drain right out of here. And then what I do recommend doing is leaving that open. Coming to this right here, this is going to be your black tank flush. So like I mentioned before, since your black tank is your toilet, it's going to have toilet paper and everything like that inside. So this just activates a small sprinkler to help kind of flush everything else out. Otherwise, when you're done with that, take your hose out, come down here, close that little black tab again, and then you can go ahead and then start to open your grays one at a time. Otherwise, just to the left here is going to be low point drains. And then right here is going to be your water heater. So all you do is take this, plug it right inside here, make sure it is nice and tight. You want to make sure it's as tight as you can get it. Once that's tight, go to the inside of your camper and turn on the hot side of the faucet. That is going to then sputter, but that's just all the air getting pushed out of your hot water tank. So when this is in nice and tight, and you have a steady flow of water coming out the hot side of your faucet, you can go ahead and turn this on, use it, do what you need to do. And then when it comes time to empty it, you just go ahead, pull this little pressure release. It's going to hiss, obviously with the pressure releasing. And when that's done, just go ahead, pull this back out, and then your water is going to drain right off the edge there. Then this is your camp power or shore power right here. All it is just an extendable one, so you just grab there, pull, and then it will travel and go. Then coming to the back view, you have your cable and satellite input if your campground offers it there. Moving along to the front side, if you do decide to put your TV mount or bracket here, you have an extra cable and satellite input there, and you also have two 110 outlets right there. Moving on, this is going to be your fresh tank. Main purpose of your fresh tank is just one big tank inside your camper. The only time you're ever going to need to use that is if you're rustic camping. So if you're camping out in the middle of nowhere, you are going to need to fill this up because you're not going to be hooked up to city water connection. So the main thing with this, let's say you're going to a national park, you just want to make sure you fill this up beforehand, and then when you're out there flip on your water pump, and that pump is going to draw from this tank and give you running water while you're not hooked up to city water connection. Otherwise, the drain for that is going to be right here. Just go ahead, twist that tab, and then your fresh tank drain is going to drain right out of there. This is going to be the back of your refrigerator if you do need to access at any point. There's just a little quarter turn, so you can pop that right back off. And then here's your furnace exhaust. So when your furnace is on, all the extra heat is going to be kicking out of here. So just be careful with this one, especially with little kids, animals, anything like that. Just try to keep them away from this when it's on. Otherwise, just back up front to the other side of your pass-through storage. And then moving inside, this is going to be a little flip switch here. So this, since you probably shouldn't be running both at the same time, it gives you an option whether you want to run the fireplace or water heater. You just flip that to either one there. Moving to the inside, you're going to have this main low power panel here. You're just going to have all of your lights here, so awning, inside, everything like that. And then moving up, you're going to have your awning in and out here. You are going to need to manually extend it and let it go. So main thing you're going to want to look for is the end of the awning, and then the little flap kind of coming down with it, which is just the end of the awning. Once you see that, then go ahead and let go. Otherwise, for your slide, you just hold out, and then it is going to extend. The main thing with this, it's going to sound scary when it fully extends. Just know that it's perfectly normal. It's just the motor reaching its limit. As soon as you hear that noise, go ahead and let go. And then moving on, this is going to be all of your readers. So you just hold down and it tells you how full they all are. Get your battery, fresh tank, black tank, and then your 2 grays right there. It just overall tells you how full they're going to get. And then you have 2 elements for your water heater here, gas and electric. So whichever one you want to use, just go ahead and flick that on. And then you have your water pump, so like I mentioned before with your fresh tank, if you do need to use it, you just flick on that water pump there. Moving on, you're going to have a little space heater here. You just tap to turn on. It tells you flame color there. And then another one, temperature. And then moving on again, this is just time. So it goes all the way up to 9 hours. Nope, I wasn't even showing the buttons, but I just went from left to right. Moving on to your keys. You're going to have all of your keys here. The purple ones are going to be for your main doors. This, and then these 2 are going to be for, one's for your outside shower and one is for your front baggage doors. Got your microwave here. You have your fan and light here. And then moving on to your oven and stove, you just press, turn to light, and then you spark, and then the burners will then ignite. Same for your oven, you just press, turn to the pilot symbol, and then just spark, 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 and then eventually you'll see a small flame appear right where that little silver piece is right in the back. Once you see that, then you can go ahead and turn to your desired temperature. Otherwise, while we're down here, here's your breakers and fuses. I do recommend bringing some extra fuses just in case, but that's just a personal preference. You can pick those up at any auto parts store. Moving down here, this is going to be your carbon monoxide detector. This is always going to be on just as a safety feature, so that little green light is always going to be on. So the main things you do want to pay attention to is, like I said, that green light, because that small green light will eventually kill your battery after a few days. So if you are planning on either leaving your camper for a couple of days or doing whatever, I just recommend taking the negative end off of your battery if it's not going to be plugged into shore power. And then right here, you are going to have your systems, whether you want heat, cool, or fan. So AC, heat, whatever, you just choose the temperature here with this little slider, and then you go ahead and choose it with this. If you do decide to put the fan on, all the fan settings are going to be right on this right side there. The main thing in here, you have your fan switch, which is this left one, and the right one is going to be for your light. For your toilet, you're gonna need to remember 3 things. It's foot flush. You just press down with your foot and it'll flush. Toilet, so RV grade toilet paper, and then toilet solution as well. The solution is just gonna help break down everything, make sure everything flows well. And the toilet paper is also gonna help break down a lot easier. So once again, everything flows nice and easy. Otherwise, going into your bedroom here, you have your slide out button here. Actually, let's put these lights on. So all I'm doing, just a slide out room, you just hold out and it moves. So just like that. And then once again, your light's right here. And then one thing I did forget to mention when I was up here is that when you do have your AC going, obviously it's going to be coming out of this big unit here. But what most people will do is when they first get to a campground, they're going to open these up just for a quick dump out the bottom. It's mainly just to get a quick, cool, quick flow going in here just to move air around. And then afterwards, they're going to close it. And then once they do close it, it starts to travel through things like this. Because it's all ducted, so that's what is going to flow through. Otherwise, actually, I almost forgot your refrigerator. But otherwise, the main thing with this is you're just going to want to flip it to auto. So it's going to draw from the strongest power. So whether it's gas or electric, that's what it's going to grab off of. Right now I'm plugged into shore power, so obviously it's grabbing from the electric side. Otherwise, you can do just gas by flipping it all the way over to the right. So if you're rustic camping, you can still have a cool fridge. And then right here, this is going to be all of your cold settings there. Otherwise, that has been your orientation. With that, if you do have any questions, please bring them in, or feel free just to email me back and I can help get those answered for you. Otherwise, congratulations, and I do hope you enjoy.